I got into radio way back when the earth was cooling off. And first shift I worked, I was doing music radio, of course, long before talk radio, long before I was doing talk radio. And I was doing 6 to midnight at a little station in Chester, South Carolina. I was living in Charlotte, and I drove the hour down to Chester, South Carolina, because I wanted to be on the radio. And I just finished radio school in Charlotte, so I was excited. And after I'd been there a couple of weeks, the guy that did midnight to 6 decided not to show up. And guess who gets to do his shift? That's right. So about 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to stay awake, and it wasn't on the playlist, but I had to do it. Cat Scratch Fever, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep anybody awake at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Nugent. I got a picture over there, so we were going through for a second. I got a picture of you reloaded?
Yes, a couple of gas traps. Now that's a win.
Yeah, it is. Well, that thing was burning my nose.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Phil. Nicely done, Katie. Nicely done, Dana. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, John. Vrime Prevention Research Center, huh? Good stuff. I have a funny feeling I'm amongst friends here tonight that live self-evident truth, common sense, logic, and all things special in America. So I'll just get right over with the Second Amendment celebration. I'm a free man. I have the right to keep and bear arms. Keep means it's mine, you can't have it. Bear means they're on me and they're loaded. Next. What John's study has proven, and what a modicum of paying attention and research will conclude for anybody, even with a guitar player's brain, is that unarmed and helpless is tragically irresponsible. Unarmed and helpless is basically a welcome mat for victimization. In every instance where the rapes and the murders and the carjacking and the home invasions and the knockout games are successful, all of the victims have something in common. I knew this before the great research from John Lott, and that all the victims had already bought into the big suicidal lie that you're safer if you're unarmed and helpless. I'm from Detroit, and it didn't register with me. We weren't the murder capital because we're more violent, we're better damn shots. And what I've dedicated my life to is never defending. I don't defend my right to keep and bear arms. Absolutely no need to defend it. I celebrate and promote it everywhere I go. And I was sucker punched one time only, back in the 1960s when the rock and roll disc jockeys asked me where all my energy and all my piss and vinegar and all my killer guitar licks came from. And I told them, well, last weekend I was deer hunting with my dad, and I get up really early, and I had to really pay really attention because my dad made me walk really quiet, and the guy goes, wait a minute, man. You like murder Bambi and stuff? I go, yes. And stuff. I said, what the hell are you talking about? That's where my energy comes from. I'm clean and sober. My dad taught me to be the best that I can be. My dad taught me that this gift of life is precious. That it's an individual gift from God. That it's worth standing up for and it's worth defending. And if you are unarmed and helpless, the bad guy wins. And I was just a youth guitar player. John, were you even born in 1964? I don't know if you started your research then, but I already knew what was going on. I saw where this drooling, puky, booger-infested hippie was going with it. And I saw this as an opportunity to dance on skulls. So when I was confronted, eventually, let me get this right. So you're gonna debate the Second Amendment with Ted Nugent So you send a limey on CNN? Really? That ain't fair. So I have never failed to destroy the liars and the punks who would somehow see Virginia Tech and somehow seen Columbine, somehow seen Libby's cafeteria, somehow seen all this increased victimization when you're unarmed and helpless, and actually want more unarmed and helplessness. It just doesn't work with me. So I take a deep breath. I think back to the pragmatism of rugged individualism, true independence, the purity, the absolute purity of self-defense. And whenever they try to get me on this, because see, I cheat. I not only wrote Wango Tango, I meant it. So when these media goons invite me on their show, and they go, oh, this guy's like the Motor City Madman, just tear him apart. He's like a gun nut. He's like a right-wing guy. Just go get him, Pierce. It's beautiful, man. So I think the most important battle cry here tonight, we all know the Second Amendment is individually given to us by God, that we have a duty to be armed and capable to stop evil. It's not just a right. It's a moral, intellectual, I believe, spiritual obligation. And if you are unarmed and helpless, have a nice day. So, thank you for the applause, but if you really, really believe that, and I gotta tell you, you're some special people, because you're here to support what I believe is one of the most, right along with the National Rifle Association, one of the most important forces in this culture war against those who want to control us. The left wants to control us. The Bloombergs want to control us. Schumer wants to control us. Eric Gun-Running Holder wants to control us and brainwash us. You being here is wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for support, because John works his ass off and he needs to be paid more. So when you leave here tonight, don't think that it was about this event. It wasn't about tonight. It's about every day starting tomorrow. This is a small, small group. If I only attracted this number of people, I would be playing Holiday Inns in Des Moines with my combo. You need to get out there and kick ass. You need to communicate with everybody at work, at school, at church, at the bowling alley, at the barbecue. You need to tell them about more guns equals less crime. Fewer guns is a murderer's dream. Gun-free zones is a rapist playground. You need to communicate this not today and just during the NRA convention, every day of your life. I know some of you have family members that are anti-gun. I see that nod, that hurts. Fix them. I know you have coworkers that don't like guns and don't like the NRA. Fix them. Hammer the living shit out of them. Every day with statistics. John's got the statistics. You probably don't even need to read the statistics if you just think for a minute. Unarmed and helpless is unarmed and helpless. That's irresponsible. You might miss a child's wedding. You might miss a graduation if you let a bad guy win. I'm wondering how many guys have guns in here tonight. I haven't been, I've never been to a gun-free zone. Not since I was 18. Boy, can I tell you some stories. Gun-free zones must be banned. You need to call your elected employees constantly and communicate with your family and friends. You're not allowed to have an anti-gun family member. You're not allowed to have an anti-gun friend. You need to fix them all. And it just takes buoyant, authoritative, sometimes cocky, but always effervescent dissemination of the statistics and the mindset that victimization is a choice. I went to Fusia. This one story, I got 1,000 of these stories, but pretend there's a little campfire here. Uncle Ted is cleaning his knife, and there's some herbivores hanging and swinging overhead, freshly gutted. Do we feel it? We're around the campfire. And here's a story. It's a great campfire story. So I'm invited to go to Fusia in 2004. Remember the images on TV? American workers hung up and burned on bridges. Remember that? I saw that. I went, I'm going to Fusia. Now, when I go to the store for milk and bread, I carry a 10mm clock with 6 magazines. And a smaller one in my back pocket. Before I put my hanky in my pocket, before I put myself, that's just what I do. You never know when a rabid raccoon might cross the door. So I'm going to Fusia. I see the guys, I see the American workers getting held captive by Alapukes with their AKs behind their back. Well, if I'm going to be taken hostage, I would prefer an Alapuke with his AK behind his back, because then I could cut him in half with my Glock, take the AK, and fix the rest of them. Now, don't think did you study that stuff? How easy would it be to defend yourself from a guy who knows you're unarmed and helpless, so he keeps his gun behind him? So I'm going to Fusia. So I upgraded the artillery. Now I had to go through some, magnetometers, the metal detectors? I had to go through some metal detectors in Las Vegas, and I made it. I don't know how, but man, beep, beep, beep. It's just Uncle Teddy probably got a pocket knife. I had 2. So I get on the jet, and we go to Nova Scotia to refuel, and there's some more metal detectors. So far, so good. We land in Kosovo. We had to come down like this because it was enemy territory. And I land, and actually a Marine handed me a 249. I mean, when was the last time a USO celebrity was given his own machine gun? So I'm in Fusia, and I'm at well, I'm not going to tell you all the details, but eventually they discovered that I'm better armed than any of the Marines. And they got really pissed off, and I looked at that colonel and I said, are you kidding me? You're over here protecting my rights? You're over here with a sworn oath to the United States Constitution in Fusia, and you think I'm going to Fusia unarmed and helpless? Bullshit. And I said, you're not taking my guns. And I kept my guns. And nobody took me hostage, and I didn't end up hung from a bridge, burned. I admit I was surrounded by the coolest guys in the world. It wasn't my doing, but it's a mindset. The reason we have a community organizer in the White House, the reason we have a gun-running attorney general, the reason we have an engineered recidivism, the reason we have a court system that is broken, the reason we have an anti-Department of Justice is because we, the sheeple, have blindly obeyed for too long. If you see a gun-free zone, fix it. You call your elected employees and tell them that gun-free zones are a murderer's dream. We need to ban gun-free zones. Crime Prevention Research, here's the research. What is it, John? I don't even care what the numbers. I know it's 90, sometimes as high as 98% of violent crimes are committed by violent criminals that the system let out of their cage. Go home, call your elected employees, and tell them no more plea bargaining, no more early release, no more parole murderers or rapists and child molesters. No more. You want to fix crime in America? Keep the criminals locked up. Or, here's an idea, because I agree with Dana, and I have Queen of the Forest, and I have daughters and sons and grandkids. Let's change America so that when the rapist attacks, we don't even have to keep him in his cage. We kill him. Let's say some guy comes up to do the knockout game, and you know that you can die from that, so you can be in fear of your life. Duck and kill him. Crime prevention, kill the criminals. The reason they're paroled is because we didn't kill them. And I hope there's some of these, the Huffington Post here tonight, because I want to make sure you're getting all this accurately. Because I stand by my words. The only good rapist is a dead rapist. The only good carjacker is a dead carjacker. The only good burglar is a dead burglar. And so it's we the people's fault that there is recidivism, because they're still alive to do it again. You know, I got some buddies in Illinois. And when they come to Texas, I welcome them to America. And they tell me that they have a coyote problem. I go, well, that's strange. Around here, the coyotes have a Ted problem. We don't see them, we shoot them. Every one of them. Every day. We never have to go back and get our gun. That came in real handy in Libby's, didn't it? In Texas? Are you kidding me? Victimization is a choice. Recidivism has to have a citizenry stamp of approval. No more stamps of approval. We need to raise hell with our elected officials. The GOP victory in November was a reasonable hiccup in the right direction. I'm not impressed yet. But when we demand from the GOP that they actually act like Republicans and they actually adhere to their oath of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, then we might get somewhere. So real crime prevention research is about we the people demanding that the statistics find their way into policy making. There's not an elected employee in America that doesn't work for me. I rock and roll in every state. They need me. And I hunt in every state. And they need me. We don't hire sharpshooters. I am a damn sharpshooter. And they know what I stand for because I am so radical, I actually think that I qualify as we the people. How dare I? I actually believe and will never back down that I qualify as an experimenter in self-government. And right now, the Republicans and Democrats are laughing at us. They're ignoring us because you haven't put on enough. And I say you because I guarantee I have. They all know exactly what I stand for, which is why the left hates me. I couldn't be more proud. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your generosity. Phil, God bless you. John, God bless you. You're doing God's work. You're too sexy for your tie. I'm telling you. And I think God works in mysterious ways. He has sent 2 stand-up commandos. Well, he sent many of us. There's many out there, and I salute you all, and you know who you are. But the juxtaposition between Ted Nugent, the Second Amendment guy, And John Locke, the Second Amendment guy, is dynamic. And we need both. We need that almost Mr. Rogers-like delivery. And we need Uncle Ted coming into town on a pissed-off stallion doing a number 9. You know, only one guy who knows the number 9. Think of Blazing Saddles. Okay, so thank you for even putting up with me.